Oh my God, Gemini. How much have you missed me, Gem? How much have I missed you, my friends? Welcome to my channel, Manna. My name is Adalina Bonn. Gem, I'm being a bit silly. I'm super excited. It's my first video back in about 4 weeks. I feel like I've been to the far end of the galaxy and back again. But I'm finally back in the hot seat, my friends. It is so good to connect with you. So look, without further delay, Jimmy, most of you know the drill, but for those of you who are new, okay, I don't work with the tarot, all right? My reads are not date specific, so there could actually be something here on the channel from last year that could help you over the week ahead, so do feel free to have a play back over some of the previous footage. All right. It goes without saying that this is a general message. It may or may not be for you. So hopefully, though, there's something that you can take away. And always bear in mind, Jemmy, that you can reverse the placement, pardon me, of the characters in the story, depending on your situation. Okay, so cross-watcher dealing with a Gemini who might be watching this, I could actually be speaking to you directly in the reading, not so much at the Gemini. So you just interpret it however it applies, friends. So I'm in a slightly different setup here, as you can see. The table is over in this direction. Gemini, so let's just kick off with look, a minute and a half, come on. I'm going to kick off with an animal medicine card for the gorgeous Gemini, the air baby that is Gemini, please. What can we get? What's that one? Okay, dragon, Gemmy, I love it. Is this you? Yes, I do want to say that this is you. Okay, I'm going to get another one. Don't you worry. Okay, you're coming in quite strong here, Jim. There was also another one. All right, fire ant. Interesting. And I'm going to get one more. There it is. It doesn't feel finished. Okay, this is who you're dealing with, Gemini. Could be a water sign, not necessarily. I'm going to start with them first. Okay, it's my first day back, everybody. I'm all over the place because I'm excited. Okay, so Jimmy, look, let's just crack on. You're dealing with an octopus type of partner, friend, group of people. I'll just let that focus for you there. Oh, come on. The only reason why I'm saying that they might be a water sign, the upside down triangle there is the alchemical symbol for water. But look, regardless of their sign Gemini, you are dealing with someone highly clairvoyant, if you want to use that word, highly intuitive. And they seem to just be able to wrap around you to the point where it tickles. You seem to be dealing with a partner, a friend, a lover, whoever this might be for you, Jimmy, that seems to just so get you, and they can find a way into every nook and cranny of your sense of humor, your insecurities. They can read you like a book, basically, is just a very roundabout way of, saying what I'm trying to say. But what's a bit ticklish about this, stop it, what's a bit ticklish about this, Gemini, is they manage, because this is in the realm of the unseen, the invisible, the intuition, it's the subconscious, liminal realms here. This is the depths that are not immediately visible on the surface, right? This is how they seem to be able to access you. Okay, and so I often get with this octopus card as being able to remote view, or not tap into you in a creepy way. Don't get me wrong, but they seem to, whether they're physically standing next to you or on the other side of the planet, it doesn't matter, because they're in your head. Okay, now if this is sexual or romantic, I do think this is quite sexy. All right, Jim, I'm not saying any of this to creep you out. I'd be honest. You guys know my style. I'd be honest if there was a little bit of creepiness coming in here. I'm actually getting that this is quite playful. It's quite zesty. And I think they know that you know that they know that you know, Jim, that they're reading you incredibly well. Okay. And I think Gemini, whichever Gemini I'm connecting with today, you're sort of you're kind of not knowing where to look. And what I mean by that, sorry, if I come over to you now, I hope I'm not completely losing you all, Gem. If I come back to your starter for 10 card dragon, okay, that's all we can. That everybody else in your life, Gemini. Everybody else, you're a bit of a beastie. Okay. in a good way, right? You're a powerhouse of a person. The dragon here is literally the penultimate card of the deck. Gem, it's the cover of the pack of the deck, right? You don't get much higher than the dragon in terms of this pecking order here today, certainly what we're working with. And so we're looking at a Gemini here who's quite a kingpin, but a Gemini who's very, very hard to access. A Gemini with, you know, one flick of an eyebrow raise is actually quite terrifying to most people. And also what I'm getting here is, you know, you've got a tough hide, Gem. Your scales are thick. And what I mean by that is, you know, for the Gemini that I'm connecting with, it is quite hard to get to know you. You're a very private person, and really the general public and a lot of people in your life, they only really see that much about you. Okay, not even the tip of the iceberg with you, mate. You don't show that much. And yet what is so ticklish here is that, you know, enter your octopus partner friend group of people who they just seem to bypass, you know, through the lens of the camera and access your entire being. All right. So Gem, I guess I'm now getting the word futile, mate. I'm getting the word futile. It would be futile to maybe continue in, how do I put it? Only showing them so much about yourself, which can be, it's quite a Geminian trait, and I actually love this about you guys. You can wear so many different hats, right? But I think Gemini, with this particular partner, this octopus of yours, it really is futile to only show them one of your hats here, because they can see every single facet of who you are. Okay, so it could be a bit uncomfortable here for because, you know, you might have one very particular way of approaching romance, Gem, or one very particular way of, you know, you've got your different personas, right? And that's no judgment. My Venus is in Gemini, but you do have your different personas. And so it could be quite unnerving, is that you're dealing with a partner here who just sees the real you. Oh my God. They see the real you, Gem. So no persona that you wear actually is going to fool them, if that applies, or is going to convince them. There's something here about it's not going to convince them, okay? Because they see you. Now, what's interesting, you guys know what I'm like. I can just ramble on two cards. What's also come out next to their energy, Gem, is the fire ant, which is a very, very swarming energy. It's waves upon waves of constant attention, if that applies, or it's waves upon waves of, I am looking at a crescendo of a connection here. The more and more you get to know each other, the more and more you have ping pong, banter, communication, this, you know, however it applies, right? The more and more you have sex, or the more and more you collaborate, I'm just going to call it that, energetically, sexually, professionally, the more and more you collaborate, it is going to be an ever-increasing crescendo of a swarm here. That basically, I've got a sense here, Gem, you're in the process of being further and further and further and further and further pushed back here by what I do want to describe as a wave of intimacy. Bearing in mind, we're dealing with the element of water here with your octopus, and we've also got this fire now coming through here with this card. This is passionate intimacy, not necessarily sexual. And I feel like it might be worth knowing, this is a very roundabout way of saying it's only going to get more full on. They're only going to read your mind more and more. It's not going to dissipate. Okay, so you need to start paddling. Basically, Gem. I actually think this whole thing is quite sexy and quite funny. But your normal modus operandi here, Gem, where have you gone? Gemini, come back. Your normal modus operandi of compartmentalized different personas, like that's who I am at the office, that's who I am with my family, that's who I am with my lover, you know, that's who I am with my, it's like, that is what this person is picking apart with you. Okay. And I actually think that's quite beautiful. All right, so coming over now to the normal cast and crew. We've got a mate. We've just had a fly. We've just had quite a large fly come in, and so off that, I almost want to say that they seem to be a bit of a fly on the wall of your internal process. I don't think you've ever quite had a partner like this, Gem, who's finishing your sentence before you even open your mouth, who's answering your question before you've even asked the question. You know, I don't think you've ever quite had it to this level, is just how it wants to come out. So fairies, Brian Froud's fairies. Yeah, Geo the slow. Okay, Gem, this is just confirming what I'm saying here. Geo the slow is all about whether you like it or not, big boy. You're going to have to buckle in for the long haul here. This is a relationship or a person that's not going anywhere. Please focus, Geo. Look at him. It's normally my Taurus card. You might be dealing with a Taurus here, Gemini. But what I do love about this card is it really is just letting you know this is a long haul, slow burn of a journey. Okay, this thing is going to mature like a pristine fine wine. You can't rush your octopus or slow them down. You know, it's just got a very steady and constant pace. Okay, and also what I do want to say, Gem, just to give you an example, if you're in the early stages of dating this person, or you're in the early stages of working with them and you're freaking the F out, and we all have, you know, if you're quite freaked out by this connection, Gemini, and maybe a default trigger of yours is to eject, like, this is too much. This is too much. I can't handle a partner this intuitive. Okay, or I can't handle a work colleague who just sees me so easily. I can't deal. If that might be your knee-jerk response to this experience, Gemini, then Geo the slow here is partly coming in to comfort you to say, hey, right, like, yes, this is only going to get more and more maybe intense or full on with this swarming fire ant crescendo energy. But on the other hand, it is being nicely tempered here by a constancy. All right, it's going to feel like a Mack truck, but it's almost a Mack truck in slow motion. So I hope that chills you out a little bit. You know, it's not going to be a crisis with your octopus here, Gemini. It doesn't need to be a crisis. So you can chill out. You're actually safe. And they are an ally. I do want to describe them as an ally or a kindred spirit of yours, however that applies. I do want to say as well, Gem, that they know that you're a bit freaked out. They know maybe that you're feeling vulnerable, or if that doesn't apply, they know that you're feeling so exposed to the point of it tickles, and that maybe you can't control yourself around them. They know that. And so in many ways, not to patronize you at all, but of the two of you, certainly how the energies are presenting today, I do want to say that this one is not more experienced or more mature. It's not. They are more adept. Okay. They've lived their whole life with this level of vision. I'm going to put it that way. They've lived their entire time on planet Earth having this extrasensory gift or having this effect on people. I'll put it, so they're used to it. It's not news to them that they're a bit spesh. Okay. And so this is where the whole dynamic between the two of you is quite sweet, actually. Gemini, now though, Jesus, we're on 15 minutes and I've only pulled a few cards. Geo the slow here is also trying to say to you, Gemini, they are not somebody who can be easily gotten rid of. Because I'm very much tuning in with a Gem who is, you might have a real knee-jerk response here to, you know, to get away from them or put them into the too hard basket. Because the connection's too much. You know, it's like, for example, if this was sexual, the intensity of the eye contact during sex is so much that the Gemini passes out. It's sort of like that, this knee-jerk response that one of you is definitely having to this. But look, Geo, in quite a disciplinarian way now, Geo's saying, Gem, mate, this is a highly significant encounter. This person is here for a reason, and they will not step aside, but they also cannot be pushed aside from being front stage and center, whatever the phrase is, front and center in your life right now. You are having to face this person. You are having to face this partner, this relationship, this issue. Okay, you can't keep blocking their calls or disappearing into the toilet when you're seeing them coming down the corridor. Jimmy, you've kind of got to accept that. Now, it's interesting, we've got here the bodacious bodak, which is often it's my cat amongst the pigeons. It's my Tom Cruise MI5, MI6, whatever, abseiling down the ceiling. It's a totally unexpected arrival, all right, which is uncomfortable by its very nature. The bodacious bodak is also the card for sabotage. Now, don't worry. Again, this is all quite cute and sexy. Actually, Gemini, stop it. Because what's happened here, look at Geo's grin. Look at Geo. Geo's my George Clooney Taurus card. Anyway, what's quite funny here is I think they have so been, that this person, this partner, this octopus who has tentacles in every part of you, Gemini, has tentacles in every part of your life. It has been a major unexpected arrival that has completely sabotaged your original game plan, your original grand plan for your life. They've completely sabotaged it. But in a beautiful way, Gemini, because what you can't see, you're not the master playwright, right? And this is where it's funny that this is now coming through right at the end. The dragon is the highest creator, which is you. Mercury the messenger. That's why I start with Gemini each week. You are the top of the double helix, Gem. You're bringing it down from the ethers, into matter for the rest of us. The role that Geminis play for the rest of humanity is beautiful. Okay, you are the bridge between the ethers and the physical realm. Okay, you are the dragon in many ways, and yet what's interesting is they're even saying to you here, dragon, even you though, Gem, cannot mastermind or even, you couldn't even script this relationship if you tried. For all of your genius, Jemmy, for all of your maverick genius and your highly creative mind, not even you can script where this relationship is going. You also can't predict the movements of the octopus, or and because I keep wanting to come back to the sense of water with your octopus, I don't think you can predict what they're tickling and touching. We just had noise outside. In terms of your feelings, you can't predict how they're going to make you feel and continue to make you feel going forward, which is only a beautiful thing. Okay, so I do hope that helps for some of you. In a nutshell, I just want to, I mean, we've hardly had any cards, but it's my first day back, so there we go. Sometimes you don't need them, right? I do just want to say, Gem, there's something here, the message today, there is something here about accepting the long haul permanency of this interaction. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it. It has completely, these developments or this arrival, however it applies for you, has come in out of nowhere. It's dropped down right onto your lap, from a lofty peak here, a lofty height, and it has completely sabotaged all of your original plans maybe for your life. But I personally, with the whole vibe of how it's coming through today, I think it's really beautiful that, actually, because it's forcing you to release control. You're normally the one in control, right? You're normally the one that's writing the fates or writing the stories of the other characters in your life, and this is where the pen has been taken out of your hand, and something much bigger is at play here, Gemini, in the unfolding of this story with you and your octopus. Okay, this is quite amazing, Jimmy. It's such a pleasure to connect with you again. If you'd like to follow me over onto Vimeo, okay, I'm going to unpack this a little bit further. The link's just downstairs. We'll just see where else this might go. Okay, my friends, but if this is where we part ways, Gem, have a gorgeous week ahead. It's so good to be back with you all, and I can't wait to tune in with you next Monday. Lots of love. Bye.